Hey, what's going on, everyone? Just uh just hanging out. Don't even know if the audio's working. I gotta double check it. There we go. That's better. Wasn't activating. I just had something on my mind because I was just finishing up listening to the video that Knock made about Cerberus Hex there, and it occurred to me something very obvious. In fact, something so obvious that I'm surprised that Knock even missed it. So if someone breaks into my fucking house, right, and I blow his goddamn brains out, I'm not blowing his brains out because I fucking would really like to kill some motherfuckers. I'm blowing his goddamn brains out because I have a wife and an 11-month-old son, and if this motherfucker is psychologically unstable and he has some kind of weapon, or even if he's just big, right? I'm not gonna gamble on me winning some kind of fisticuff street fight in the middle of my goddamn living room at 2 o'clock in the morning in probably my underwear. I'm shooting him because clearly he doesn't give a shit about the fucking law. He doesn't give a shit about my stuff, my personal safety. I'm blowing his fucking brains out because the safety of my family and, of course, to myself is paramount in my life. All right? My wife, my son, and myself. Those are the three most important human beings in my life. Okay? So I'm not going to I'm not going to take a chance on being able to have a reasoned conversation with some random stranger in my living room at 2 o'clock in the morning after he's just busted the fucking door down or creeped in through the fucking window or wherever the fuck he came in from, all right? When someone violates your personal space in such a way that they are an imminent threat, it should be, and I think it is, more than a little acceptable to preemptively take the life of someone who clearly does not give a flying fuck about the law, the social contract, or anything else. I live in an area where there's a lot of psychologically unstable people, as evidenced by my existence, but even more so. And most of them are fucking homeless. I had a guy 2 years ago wander. I lock my front door habitually now, but I was home. I figured it was fine. I had a guy wander into my fucking house just because the door was unlocked, the light was on, and he just needed to take a fucking piss. And I told him to fuck off. Now, uh, if I had the presence of mind, I would have probably fucking defended myself, but there were enough people here at the time that it was not really a fucking issue. It was clear he was some drunk, homeless fucking guy, right? But I think I would have been well in my rights. And dogs are good too, but I fucking, if my dog was not a chihuahua and some big muscle bound fucking steroid looking bastard dog, he would still be my duck, and I wouldn't want him to fucking have to get hurt to fucking protect me. He's too nice. He's too nice of a dog, right? But either way, so let's juxtapose that situation that I've set up next to the abortion thing, right? In this scenario, we're just talking about somebody who just There's no rape, incest, none of that shit. It's basically somebody who wants to use um, an abortion at, we'll say, 15 weeks as a form of birth control. Just decided, fucking, what is that, 3, 4 months in? Oh, fuck, that might even be 5. I have no fucking idea. Just decided that, nope, don't feel like having a baby. This pregnancy shit ain't for me. Just decided, I don't feel like it, because this is the primary issue that I have with abortion, is this specific sort of scenario that I'm setting up here, right? Just decided, nah, I don't feel like it. No, I don't think that I'd be a good mother. Whatever. It doesn't matter what the fucking reason. I really like killing babies. Whatever. It doesn't matter what the reason is, actually, whether it seems justified or not. I don't have any fucking money. Whatever. Um, this woman, I'm sorry, birthing person. Fuck me, this fucking culture. This birthing individual decides that they want to terminate the life of another human being. So, from the Christian perspective, which by the way is not the Jewish perspective on this, um, life begins at conception, but also scientifically speaking, that is also when life begins. You feeling me? When the fucking sperm fertilizes the egg, combining their genetic material together, okay? And then they begin cellular division. It's a fucking new life. It's a separate entity, and for some reason, we're very sizist in this Western culture, because we care about things relative to the amount of cellular activity that's going on in any organism. So this little thing inside of you might not even resemble a person, but it is. It's a completely new, unique set of genetic material, albeit dependent on the the mother to, or the birthing parent, whatever, to survive. But still, yes, it is actually a separate individual. And so, for example, the law also recognizes this external, the Roe v. Wade horse shit, right? Because if you take a fucking baseball bat to a pregnant woman's stomach and the baby dies, that dude is still going to jail for fucking homicide. And if he kills the mother, they call it a double homicide. Or if you're driving drunk and you kill a pregnant woman and her child, or cause her child to miscarry. The law recognizes this. Science recognizes this. The Bible recognizes this. Okay? There's no two ways about it, all right? All you're really arguing about is the minutia of when it is acceptable to take a life, right? And this is where we can come together on this, because I think it's acceptable to end a life with malintent, violates your personal space such that your personal physical being, your personhood, is at risk, or the personhood of the people that also live in the same domicile. So In this scenario that I've set up, where the woman is not raped, is not a product of incest, is not a minor, it's just a normal consenting human being that just at some point 15, 14 weeks in decided she no longer wanted to entertain the prospect of carrying this fetus to term such that she would deliver a fully formed child out of the birth canal or cesarean, etc. Right? The second individual here is the point of contention, not the birthing person. The second individual is the one who did not only has no ability to consent, but you are consenting to kill that individual for them before they even have a chance to draw their first breath. That is the problem. Is we are debating on whether or not it is ethical at a certain point to terminate the life of someone whose entire existence is wholly dependent on the birthing parent. Okay? That is the point of contention here. The child didn't break into your uterus. Okay? It was put there in this situation anyway, consensually by somebody else whom we can only assume you were comfortable at the time having a child with and raising. Okay? That then becomes your responsibility at some point. So just like with the self-defense argument with the gun thing, right? If we're talking about when it's socially acceptable or when it should be legally acceptable to terminate the life of a, albeit very much smaller, but altogether entirely human alternate individual, when is that okay? Nobody wants to talk about that. It's fucking pissing me off. All right? Because I can accept that there are certain circumstances in which an abortion might be necessary. For example, if the child's already dead inside the womb, right? As I've listed in my previous post on the community section of this channel that you're watching this on now. I understand that there are certain birth defects, like harlequins, that would prevent a child from being able to live any kind of life, even a diminished one. I can accept a lot of things. What I can't accept is someone who, at the end of the first trimester or the beginning of the second trimester, decides that they just can't handle it. Right? So, I have a house. I have 3 locks on the 2 doors that I have in my house because I don't live in a terrible neighborhood, but I live in a shitty enough neighborhood that that sort of thing is warranted, right? In this analogy, it would be analogous to something like birth control. I love birth control because it helps prevent abortions across the board. In any case, it's not 100% effective, but it's better than nothing. It's significantly better than nothing. If somebody gave me a pill and said that there's a 99.9% chance that grow wings and be able to fly with them, and there's a 1% chance that it'll give me ass cancer, I would be very comfortable taking that pill. And most birth control has those sort of statistics attached to them. Personally, I don't, with my wife and I do not use contraception at all. because we're in a monogamous heterosexual relationship inside of a marriage, and we plan on having at some point a second child here. And so, but you know what? Sometimes it's just, like we would, for example, my wife would like to be able to use the hot tub while we're on vacation, which you can't do when you're pregnant. So, you know what I haven't done? I didn't fuck my wife while she was ovulating. Ladies, when you're about to go on your period and when you're ovulating, because you have, especially in the summer when you're swimming, because you have to plan your whole life around that fucking shit. All right? Don't tell me you don't fucking know. You all know. Pretty much every last one of you knows exactly when something. And you know what? I I I saw this ridiculous argument on Twitter that if you're over 190 pounds, birth control doesn't work for you. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out. Let me tell you something, ladies. I I have not been with in a very long time anyone who was under 190 pounds. I don't think. I actually have no idea what my wife weighs. She might weigh less, but she's also tall. Whatever. I'm not trying to call my wife fat here on the internet or anything, but I'm I I'm a discerning gentleman who prefers a woman of a certain size. All right, and I don't think that I've used a fucking a rubber, a jimmy, a condom, a prophylactic, whatever you want to call it. I don't recall ever doing that except for, I believe, like when I lost my virginity some fucking 12, 13 years ago. I think it's at this. I have actually, it's been longer than that. I have no fucking idea how old I am. Pardon. I think I was 17 or something. At least with a woman. Dudes fucking each other when you're in high school and middle school. We don't even fucking know, nor do we care. So I don't count any of that shit because we're talking specifically about things that'll cause a pregnancy, and ass gremlins aren't actually a thing, as much as the Reverend Wright would like you to believe that they are. Um, Jeremiah Wright. So the very idea that birth control it can't be taken or isn't effective for people over 190 pounds is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And the other thing that Knox said that blew my fucking mind, and here it is right here. This was something that Serb had brought up is, if you don't want to have a baby, don't have sex. Right, exactly. You're not going to really stop a whole lot of people, especially younger people, from doing that, though. But just because they're not going to listen doesn't mean they should have the right to terminate the life of someone who is incapable of offending anyone in terms of it's not like you're going to see a whole lot of fetuses holding up liquor stores at 2 a.m. You know what I mean? Of all the, I don't know if anyone is really innocent in anything, but if somebody is fucking innocent of everything, it's gonna be the unborn. They haven't had a chance to live enough life to do anything to transgress against anyone. That's why it's like, fuck, man. You know, and here's the other thing, right? If somebody breaks into my house, I'm willing to kill that motherfucker, right? If I gotta eat, I'll fucking shoot. I have done. I'll shoot some animal. I'll gut it, skin it, chop it up, and kill it. Especially if I'm hungry enough, I'll probably strangle it to death with my bare goddamn hands, right? But a lot of these fucking pro-abortion people, do you think that they would grab those fucking forceps and the clamps and dismember piece by piece a human fetus? No, I don't think so. So, to leftists like, nah, you like abortion so much, why don't you go fucking perform one? How about it? See if you could fucking sleep at night. Why are we asking medical professionals to do this fucking thing? All right? Because I know doctors, and in the field that I've been working in for quite some time now, and some of them have performed abortions. And the reason that they work for the state now is because it affected their psychological state to the point where they just couldn't fucking do it anymore. They just work in offices and shuffle paperwork around for the Department of Health. So I'm not saying all of them. I'm just saying that not most doctors would prefer not to perform abortions in general because it's fucking horrific, right? The Hippocratic Oath, first thing right there, do no harm, right? You have to engage in some serious fucking cognitive dissonance to think that you are doing no harm when you're dismembering a fetus and removing it a piece at a time from a woman's womb. It's crazy. That blows my fucking mind. Pretty much everyone, I think, can agree with me. If you're a sane, well-adjusted human being, right? That at the very least, abortion is a form of birth control, solely as, is not justifiable. It's not okay. It's not moral, and it shouldn't be done. I know because I've talked to a lot of people recently about this because it's been going on and on and on. And they'll say, "Oh, the woman's right to right to choose, right to choose to do what exactly? Oh, kill a baby? Oh, right, yeah, wonderful." And also, they say, "Well, I'll be like, well, what about post-birth abortions? Like, was it Northam in Virginia or West Virginia? We're going to keep the baby comfortable after it's born, and we're going to decide what to do with it if the mother really wanted to terminate it but couldn't decide until it was already outside her snatch." Yeah. Post-birth abortions are not okay with any woman that I've talked to, and a lot of them feel very strongly about this in a way that would disagree with me. So, like, I'm trying to listen. As much as my religious sensibilities would say, my conservative sensibilities would say, let's ban all abortions. I understand that's not realistic and it's going to cause more problems than it solves, right? There's a non-zero chance that no matter what I do, no matter what legislation comes down the pike, right? It's going to continue to happen. And it could just exacerbate the issue. So, I don't know what else to do other than to say, let's not argue about the things that would be a legitimate reason for an abortion, like I said previously, and I will reiterate: ectopic pregnancy, D and C, stillbirths, miscarriages, because miscarriages require you to take the same kind of medication and have similar procedures depending on the level of gestation of the fetus in question. It is an abortion. Other disorders that would cause, like being born without a heart, being born without a brain, literally, not figuratively, not like the figurative brainless over there on the left. reasons to terminate a pregnancy that I can say, okay, we can break bread on that situation. But the one situation that I find to be absolutely fucking illegitimate pretty much across the board for any fucking reason you could conjure is using abortion as a method of birth control. Okay? It's not just immoral, it's fucked. It's disgusting. It's irresponsible, it's reckless. It's fucking evil. It's fucking evil. And that's the thing too. People think that evil walks around with horns and a forked tail and a pitchfork, and it's got red skin and it breathes flames. No, actually, most evil is banal. Most evil is actually ambivalence. To look at something and not even be able to say one way or the other. It's just turning a blind eye to the obvious. Turning a blind eye to something that's happened right in front of you. Like you heard about the subway in New York City where the woman was raped, right? She was raped on a subway, and many bystanders filmed the fucking thing and didn't do anything about it. Who's more evil in that situation? That mental psychotic piece of shit who raped a woman on a subway, the woman getting raped, or the people who just stood there and did nothing, despite the fact that they had everything in their power to stop the act. Because that is the banality of evil. Evil is dumping some shit in a river because it's convenient and not thinking about the consequences of what and who is downstream, right? Because shit does in fact roll downhill, ladies and gentlemen. And it's rolling, and it's coming fast. That's evil. It's not, like fucking Captain Planet. Like, why are we dumping chemicals in the river? Because we're evil. No, it does. Real evil doesn't have much of a motive beyond short-sighted self-interest. Well, why'd you have an abortion? Well, I gotta think about my career. What is it with people thinking? Who put this idea in people's heads that you don't get married or have a child until you have everything all set? Do you know it takes some people their entire lives to get the career they want? Doctors, for example, 13, 14, 15 fucking years in med school and pre-med and their residency. They go into college if they're lucky at 18 fucking years old, and they end up getting themselves in hundreds of thousands of dollars in student debt if they don't have some kind of fucking scholarship program, right? Do you think from the age of, let's see, they're 18, so from 18 to 31, do you think that these people, or older, do you think that these people don't entertain the idea of having a family and a fucking life? You don't think they buy houses, adopt pets, buy vehicles, shack up with somebody? Do people just think that this just fucking shit just falls out of the sky once you turn 35? Because it fucking doesn't, bud. Let me tell you something. Life comes at you. And who the fuck wants to do that anyway? Who the fuck wants to hook up with somebody when they've got it all together? Because then you'll never know if the person you're with is there for the stuff you have and the lifestyle you can provide, or because they actually care. This is some good advice for all the men and women out there. All of you, right, that are planning on having a significant other at some point in the future. Don't get with anyone when you already have shit. Do your looking for somebody before you have shit, because you'll always be looking over your shoulder wondering if he or she is with you because you've got your shit in your life already and they're just looking for a fucking meal ticket, or if they the fucking the woman that's with you when you're living in the fucking shitty 1 bedroom apartment with the toilet handle that doesn't fucking work, driving your 93 baby blue Buick Skylark. It gets fucking 9 miles per gallon, eating top ramen, and your idea of a date night is Chinese and Netflix. Get with that woman. Because if she's with you, she stays with you, especially for a couple of years, while you're trying to figure out who you are, that's somebody that'll grow with you. That's somebody that actually wants to fucking be there. That's somebody that actually gives a flying fuck. But, you have an abortion because you get your fucking career. Why don't you build your career around the fact that you have a fucking child? How about, How about we all grow the fuck up and act like adults? Does that sound all right to you? Can we agree on that? Jesus Christ. How the fuck do these people think it was done for thousands of years almost? We'll roll it forward a little bit. We'll say the past 300 years. Just since the fucking country has been founded, essentially. It's not quite that old, but what are we, 256 or something? I don't fucking know. I am not a math Jew. That's people have kids in their fucking 20s. That's the way it is. And no fucking 20-something has their life figured out. A lot of us don't even know where the fuck we're going. And it's been exacerbated by fucking liberal horseshit, I think, at this point. But that's something we can talk about at a later time. I did not intend for this to roll as long as it did. But, I just can't, as much as I would like to be on the side of the liberals at this point, because I feel there's some part of me that is inclined to sympathize, if not empathize, with the plight of liberals, only because most liberals I don't think are bad people, because I don't think most people are bad people in general. I have a theory. I think that they genuinely want to help, but they're just constantly sticking their fucking finger up their ass or their foot in their mouth about most things, because a lot of liberals haven't really lived enough life to know better, to be honest with you. I think that's why the older I get, the more conservative I get, because I can't afford to stand out with my fucking tin can in the rain asking the government for fucking dimes, because I'll never get it. I've learned that very quickly, especially working for the government, especially being in a fucking union working for the government. they tell you that they're going to give you this, that, and the other thing to incentivize you to stay. Meanwhile, they're fucking abusing you 6 ways to fucking Sunday, and everyone gets the same fucking pay and the same grade, regardless of how well you do your job or how much work you put in or whatever the case may be. I can't afford to stand out there on the fucking street corner with my sign and my tin can asking daddy government if he's going to give me my fucking weekly stipend. It's not happening. I need to be able to generate my own wealth on demand, essentially. But that's the way of it. That's the way of everything right now. You just live in the pod, eat the bugs. You'll own nothing, and you'll be happy. Before I sign off, I'm gonna have one more cigarette. I got the fucking hiccups as well. Fuck me. Oh gosh. Yeah. I've just been frustrated. I think there's one more thing that I want to talk about, and then I'm gonna pack it in. I'm gonna try to keep it short because I am going to stream tomorrow as well from the camp, and then my wife and I are gonna go to the drive-in again for I think it'll be the second or third time this year. We're gonna go see Thor: Love and Thunder. I do not want to see the movie. My wife does, and I enjoy spending time with my wife, so I do things that piss me off if my wife enjoys it because I love her. So, I'm a fucking Marvel movie, to be honest with you. Not that all Marvel movies are shitty. It's just this one looks especially poopy doop. Okay, so here's the situation with this last thing. This Robert Cremo fella over there in Highland in Illinois, just outside of Chicago. As I was saying earlier, he was flagged by the FBI. He had his house raided before, tried to blow his own brains out. The cops stopped him. He lived with his father and his uncle. They were aware of his art. They were aware of his music. They didn't see any signs at all, they said, in it. There's a song that has a hand done, looks like it was maybe done in MS Paint, but I can't be sure, animation that accompanies the song. And I believe the song is called Toy Soldiers. And the imagery in there is fucking all over the place. Now, a lot of people thought also, and I've done some digging and I wanted to clarify this point. Let me just light this cigarette quick. Bobby had a tattoo over, I believe, just to the right of his right eye, 4/7, and of course he committed the mass shooting on the 4th of July, which would be 7/4. It's actually not. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with the area code. The area code over there is 847. I've been through his manifesto, Robert Cremo, aka Awake the Rapper. And the numbers are actually have to do with a corresponding phone number to his ex-girlfriend, who I guess broke up with him 2 years ago. While he was in the middle of a psychological break. Something happened with his mother. I've been able to decipher much of it from that manifesto. It seemed like this guy was a guy. It's not necessarily that he was bullied specifically in high school per se. It was actually worse because bullying produces a certain level of attention. But he was mostly ignored. And people who are ignored are just like people who are put in solitary confinement to a certain extent. The psychological effects of being ignored perpetually by everyone in your life are fairly similar. I think that the literature on this bears that out. And well, I say was, he's still alive. He's a very creative, artistic person. Literate, I would say, as well. Fairly well educated. He 2 years ago he was working, and this is just from what I can decipher out of the papers and the stuff that's available. 2 years ago he was working at Panera, and he quit his job one day because out of the blue his girlfriend at the time had decided that she wasn't going to be with him anymore because of his angst, because he was always wishing things were different, that he would get picked up. He wasn't really going anywhere fast enough for her. So this girl, whose, I guess, pseudonym is Rose, that's not her actual name, leaves him, and that's the beginning of the end for him. because she was like the one person in his life that would talk to him on any regular basis. Like I said, he lived with his father and his uncle, and they were completely ambivalent and just, the 4th of July day and the beginning of the day and the Sunday prior, there was a family get together, and according to his uncle, he spent stopping to use the restroom and say hi to people who crossed his immediate path. And it's like there were no warning signs except for he had a collection of weapons. He had a collection of firearms in his room. The weapons I referenced were prior to his original arrest after he attempted suicide. A lot of people ask, why don't these people just take their own lives quietly? Well, he tried to do that, and the police intervened. And the people over there the men in the white coats decided that he wasn't quite crazy enough or quite as mentally unstable enough to be sent to the fucking puzzle factory, because our mental health system in this country is just fucking wonderful. To do something about him. The FBI didn't think that his behavior and the things that he was saying online, and people have tried to make this a political thing. He's been at Trump rallies. He's been involved in Antifa associated things. He was on all kinds of stuff, right? People want to make it a political issue. It's not. It's a mental health issue. And this is what I really wanted to talk about in relation to this. That was really fucking actually triggered me, because it took me back to a time where my mental health was really super fucking bad. So I reached out for help, and everyone was just involved in the mental health care system was just the most incompetent bunch of fucking buffoons. I might have seen 5 or 6 fucking people at that point. Different types of psychologists, psychiatric folk. I saw who was the last guy I saw? He was a social worker or something. And they, the solution, they just, they're getting paid either way. They're just there to hear your problems and not offer any solutions. The psychotherapist types, these fucking supposedly caring people, eventually they become ambivalent to their own jobs, and they don't invest any, because they're told not to. They don't really invest any of their emotional or mental faculties in any of the patients that they serve, because at some point it just gets to be too much. And they treat everything like it's a fucking disorder, right? For example, I have depressive episodes. They're triggered by very specific things with underlying circumstances that coincide with those things, right? So, for example, your mom gets hit by a car and dies, right? And you're upset about it. That doesn't mean you're clinically fucking depressed. That means that there was a direct cause and an effect. We don't treat things in this country like there's a cause and an effect. We give everyone a fucking pill. We give them their little prescription, and then we have them fuck off, because everyone who has some undesirable emotional trait in this country is treated as though they are an obstacle, that they're a piece of furniture in your house that no longer functions properly, like a TV. Nobody takes their TV to the TV repairman anymore, or has a repairman come over. Most people just throw that bitch out on the side of the curb and they buy a new one. They can't do that with people. But we try like hell to, certainly. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we could just do a 1-for-1 system rollback or replacement on a human being? Wouldn't that be just fucking swell? Has it ever occurred to anyone that maybe the reason that we have such high issues with mental instability in this country is because we cause it? Because there was a cause and an effect? not because someone spontaneously woke up one morning with some kind of fucking schizoaffective disorder. Have we ever considered that? Did we ever check our watch and say, "Oh, it's time to give a fuck o'clock"? No, apparently not. It's a big cosmic fucking crapshoot, and we all got front row seats. And then we're shocked when these fucking people who have been treated miserably by their families and society go off and do some heinous shit. Because his mental health excuses him killing, what is it, 8 people and injuring 20 some odd number. I'm not saying that that's justified. What I am saying is that there is a direct, observable, and obvious cause, and then the effect happens, and we never examine the cause in any serious way. We're just, we're just angry. Just completely overcome with that stupid fucking emotion that makes us act irrationally. Right? Because some anger's alright, but I'll tell you what, most of this is impotent rage. Because something bad happens and we need someone to be responsible for it. And we point the finger at the guy standing closest to the fucking to the fucking flames. Ass backwards. What an ass backwards fucking country we live in. And it's not just this country. It's most of the Western world. It's pretty much the entire world, actually, now that I think about it, because I don't think it's treated any better in the fucking third world either. We just treat people like we like to fucking do that label shit. Oh well, he's just crazy. Why though? What pushes the kid? Because I'll tell you what, if you think you're immune, if you don't think that one day that you could just go out and commit some heinous act because some shit happened to you, if you don't think that you're capable of being pushed to the point where you go out and do the unthinkable, if you think that you're incapable of one day waking up and being a camp guard in Auschwitz, you're fucking dead wrong. It doesn't take much. All it takes is you being the guy that's just following orders. All it takes is one incident, one car wreck, one dead parent, one fucking bad day at work even. That's all it takes. It doesn't take much. And it just piles on. That's how you get there. It's never just one day specifically. It's always a fucking bunch of shit. 1, 2, 3 things becomes 11, becomes 12, and the next thing you know, you're looking at a fucking eviction notice on your door because your fucking job hasn't been paying you what you should be paying because you can't afford to fucking pay people a living wage in this fucking country because the job market is oversaturated for reasons that I won't get into here, but are probably fairly obvious to anyone with a functioning brain. Yeah, it doesn't take much. Every last one of you, myself included, is capable of being a fucking Hitler or a fucking fucking Eric Harris or a fucking Robert the fuck Cremo. Every last one of us, under the right conditions, because fucking Robert Cremo, Mother Teresa, the fucking all of us are made of the same shit. And all you need are the right environmental pressures to turn that fucking lump of carbon into a diamond or a fucking pencil tip. That's all it takes. It doesn't take a whole lot. We're all teetering on the edge. And the state of the world right now and the way that we interact with it, especially through social media, is exacerbating the fucking problem of the human condition. And the human condition is only a fucking problem because we've dissociated so much. We look at fucking names on a screen like there's not a fucking human being sitting behind that phone or that keyboard or whatever the fuck you're watching this on or listening to. We tend to think that these people don't actually fucking exist. It's just another avatar on the screen in the simulation that you're running on your fucking desktop, right? We treat people like they're disposable, like because somebody acts a certain way that they're fucking crazy, or if they hold a certain opinion, they're far right, far left, fucking Hitler, Stalin, Nazi, communist, fucking bastard. We don't look at people like they're people anymore because we don't interact with people the same way we used to. Really think about that. Do you know who you live next door to? Do you know their fucking name? Have you ever seen your neighbor? When was the last time you asked the person next to you how they're fucking doing? When was the last time you dialed up your fucking grandma in the nursing home? Never? Probably. I'm not even saying that makes you a fucking bad person. I'm just saying we need to do more than just the fucking baseline. We need to do more than just the default settings here, folks. It's time to cut the shit. We need to start taking care of each other. I'm not saying you need to save the fucking world. I'm not saying you gotta play mom or dad to the fucking universe even. I'm not even telling you gotta go over to your neighbor's house and give him a fucking cup of sugar. What I am telling you is that there's at least one other person that you interact with on a daily basis that might need a fucking hand up. Somebody needs your fucking help, and you've got something that you can offer them, so fucking do it. I'm not telling you got to get a job like I do where I take care of fucking 12 people on a regular basis, plus the one ass that I wipe at home. I'm not saying that. All right? I'm not saying you got to put on your cape and fucking fly through Metropolis saving fucking little old ladies who are having their purses stolen. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there's at least one homeless guy that you walk over every day on your way to fucking work or the grocery store. There's at least one person that you don't hold the fucking door open for that you could, but you didn't really feel like it and you thought they might be an ungrateful cunt. And what I am telling you is every fucking day, at least once, your mission in life would be to do something good for somebody. Ask a motherfucker how they're doing. Fucking, you got somebody you live with, maybe even. Bring them some fucking flowers, just because. You don't even have to buy them. There's flowers everywhere. Go pick some. Write somebody a nice letter. When you're packing your kids' lunch for school, write them a little note. How about we do some more of that fucking shit? Instead of fucking gun control, instead of fucking red flag laws, instead of blaming the left or the right, how about you get your own fucking shit together and actually pay attention to the people in your immediate vicinity? I can't fucking do this alone. I tried to be the fucking shoulder to cry on and the fucking the fucking lunch lady and I tried to be all of that all at once. Didn't work out real great. Because at some point you do have to let people live their own lives. I'm telling you. All right? And if you want to do more, absolutely fucking go for it. If you live with somebody that depends on you for their entire care, right? You're doing your job. But if you want to do more, I'd say fucking go for it. Go for it. Because no one else is going to fucking do it. You got to do it. That's what I've learned. That's what I've learned in my almost 30 years of living. My wife criticizes me, though. She says, why do you give so many people chances, especially people who probably don't deserve it? Why do you give people who, if there was anyone else, why the benefit of the doubt? Why do you, because you know what? I never got it right in one shot. I never got anything right in my entire life the first time. I need chances. I need more than 2 chances. I need a lot of chances. I will get it right eventually. But I need some fucking chances. And I'm willing to bet that most people need more than a couple fucking chances to get something right. A lot of people out there, I'm guessing, probably need the benefit of the doubt more than once in their fucking lifetime. And if I'm not doing my part to pay it forward, I'm part of the fucking problem, yo. I don't want to be part of the problem. I want to be part of the fucking solution. Is anybody here fed up with being the fucking problem? You might not even think that you're part of the problem. You're probably sitting there. There's probably a lot of Christians that'll listen to this fucking thing, and I have no hate towards these people, but let me tell you something. Jesus probably ain't fucking coming today. He might not even come in your lifetime. But waiting for him to straighten it all out seems kind of antithetical to his message, don't you? Wouldn't you think? Wouldn't it be nice if maybe you emulated Christ every once in a while just because it's the right fucking thing to do? What are you all, sinless perfectionists? You think you're just walking around in your glorified bodies here on earth? Are you out of your fucking minds? What would Jesus think if he came down here right now and saw you not doing your best? You think he'd be fucking impressed? You think you're fucking getting into heaven behaving like that? Because you're fucking not. And I don't even need to be a Christian to tell you that. It's in the fucking book. Maybe if you cracked it open every once in a while and blew the goddamn dust off of it and actually read a physical copy of your King James Version Bible, if you just gave that a shot, maybe you could, instead of bitching about how everything's shit down here, maybe you'd have something that, closely approximating a Garden of Eden. Obviously, we're not going to get perfect here in this life, but god damn it, we can get fucking closer than this. We can get closer than fucking Sodom down here. You're nailing fucking women who let in strangers to their house and give them a bowl of lentil soup to the fucking front gates, slathering her in honey and letting her be fucking stung to death by bees and dismembered by fucking wild bears at the fucking gate, because that's what that story's really about. It's about fucking kindness. People get lost in the fucking trees on that biblical truth. People think Sodom and Gomorrah was about people fucking each other in the ass. It's not. It's about being kind to widows, orphans, strangers, the disadvantaged, people who are having a hard fucking time. That's why God burnt those 2 cities to the fucking ground, because there were a bunch of uppity, yuppie, fucking self-centered cocksuckers. And Lot too. He was an asshole. He offered his fucking daughter up, his daughters up to the mob to be raped. If it wasn't for his fucking bloodline, he'd be as worthless as the rest, and he would have just vaporized the whole city, and fucking Abraham would have been sitting there with this fucking bowl of popcorn going, yeah, you know what? You're right. Just saying. That's works-based salvation. Have you noticed that these people that bitch about works-based salvationists haven't done a fucking thing in their life? Get with the fucking program. I don't really get with the whole Marine Corps thing. My father was all gung-ho about that. Well, is rather. The lead follower, get out of the way fucking thing. Well, maybe it's time that we actually re-examine that, because maybe it would be a good idea if people did some actual fucking leading, some actual fucking following, or some actual getting the fuck out of the way. Because if you're in the way, you're more part of the problem. You're obstructing the kind of progress that we would all like to see. Let's not look to mommy and daddy government. Let's not look to the sky and asking God for help. All right? You want to pray, do it in your own time while you're actually helping someone out. If that's really what you want to do. But God damn it. God damn it. There's something in our real tangible lives that we could do. Imagine if everyone on this fucking planet helped out one other fucking person. A lot of you will help out 2, 3, 5, 10 in your daily lives just based on the virtue of what you do for a living or who you are as a person, fundamentally. Imagine how much we could get done. I don't like this political divisiveness. And it sucks because I fucking participate in it. I don't want to be part of that. But I got to tell you something. You know, I don't like the way the left thinks. I can look over at a guy like Knock and I can go, well, I don't think I can look at Knock and know that there's probably no fucking malevolence in what he's saying. He's just he sees a problem, he wants to find a solution, and is ass backwards as his identification of the problem and his conjuration of a half-baked solution is. I see a guy who actually kind of like gives a fuck, which is good. We don't have enough people who give a fuck. But I would talk to him and I would say, if I could, you know, have you called your fucking brother lately? Have you, what about that coworker that you haven't talked to in a while? Have you made sure that he's all right? You know, I understand being a dad's a full-time job. I know that all too well at this point. But we got to do more than just the bare minimum. It would be good if we could get everyone to at least do the bare minimum, but that's not going to happen. So the rest of us who actually give a shit have to pick up the slack. And I do. I put my money where my fucking mouth is. I fucking bet my nursing license on it. I bet every fucking penny in both my bank accounts, because I'm Jewish and I have to for some reason. One's a savings. I bet it all. I'm just. That's a good point. I always heard God can move mountains, but bring your shovel. Yeah. Yeah, a fucking men. You think, are there people out there who really think that, like, God just created us to sit down here and wait for him to solve all of our fucking problems? After the exile, he told us that we had to do work. If you don't fucking plant, if you don't sow and reap, if you don't remove the weeds, if you don't till the soil, if you don't water the soil, you don't fucking eat. You don't go out, you don't hunt, you don't skin, you don't disembowel, you don't prepare the meat, you don't fucking eat. And there's a lot of starving people metaphorically out there right now, because not everyone has the sorts of sensibilities that I have, and I understand that. I understand that there are people who are not where I'm at on this subject. But, you know, for the rest of us who do know, we need to share that information, first of all. And second of all, we need to start fucking helping people out here. It's about to get very, very rough. Not just in this country, but around the world. There are going to be literal famines very soon. I mean, in the Netherlands and in South Africa, they're shooting farmers for protesting all these ridiculous taxes and environmental regulations. They're shooting them. They're killing farmers. All right, and it's getting bad everywhere. There's gonna be a point where we're gonna be Dust Bowl status in terms of the amount of food that's available and the infrastructure that's established to actually transport these things because of a lack of diesel, for example. And we're all going to need something from somebody very soon. And wouldn't you like to be ahead of the fucking curve? You don't need to be some kind of fucking prepper, but I'm telling you, it's it's not going to be good. I've done the obvious preparations. I've got some food here and excess baby formula and things that I'm gonna need if the fit hits the shan tomorrow. But you know, I'm I'm not out of my fucking mind about it. Just do some basic stuff. Get some lentils, some canned goods, some rice. Um, you know, a firearm would be good. As I stated at the very beginning of this stream, that would be a good idea. If you don't have one, get one. Because all the people who are gonna want your shit are gonna have them. So wouldn't you like to have one too? Uh, all right. I said one last cigarette, but here I am. I'm just got another one in my hand. I'm just finishing my tea. Mm. I got to get up early in the morning and go down and tend my own fields. Actually, I have my own gardens. Literally, not. There's that. Yeah, there's a good one. Instead of going to your local supermarket and buying some shit that was imported from fucking Brazil, go to instead. This is a way to pay it forward. Go to money directly to the farmers that you can impact on a regular basis. You know what I mean? My family eats local eggs, we drink local milk, and we have bread that's locally sourced from wheat that's produced here, at least in the United States. Not exactly wheat country out here in upstate New York, but you know. Same with chicken and beef. See, these are simple things that you were going to do anyway. And at some point, you're going to have to buy from a local farmer's market because the cost to transport meat intercontinentally or internationally is going to be astronomical at some point, and it's just going to be unaffordable for you to buy anything other than domestic. So you might want to just get ahead of that now. In fact, if more people bought locally, it would probably bring, at least in your own individual communities, it would probably bring the price of meat, egg, vegetables, things like that are in season down uh, fairly significantly. It would be better for everyone if we just ate stuff that was close to us instead of, you know. Oh, and don't buy avocados. They're pretty much all cartel controlled. They run drugs, but they also sell above board avocados, but they're all manufactured with or produced rather with slave labor under the thumb of the cartels, especially MS-13. There's a documentary about that. I can't remember the name of it, but you're gonna fucking need that. You're gonna need that. Yeah, Shep, I saw some of the stuff you were saying, and I know a little bit about your present situation, and I can totally empathize with you. Um, I just had a night the other night at work where it just kind of all hit me all at once, and these are the things that I wanted to say um, a couple days ago that I couldn't because my life is literally just too busy. I was watching this thing about Shani and Rev, and the particulars of it don't really matter, but I don't understand how people can live their life day to day being unproductive in any way, shape, or form. Every day I have to be productive or I feel like I'm just wasting my fucking time. I don't understand people that are content to live on the government dole and get their government cheese and, you know, because according to what her parents were saying about her, it's not like, she was incapable of getting a fucking job. She just doesn't want to. Mm. We all have fucking moments, yo. It's real fucking rough. I wish I had more time to jump in on your guys' streams, all of you, Boki and some of the others out there. Jill, I like Jill. Jill knows how to fuck with my head though. That's the problem. His level of communication is way too sophisticated for my brain in terms of the psychological implications of how he interacts with people. He just knows. He doesn't need to really work at it too hard. Like no other. Yeah. That doesn't need to be gone into. I understand the fucking thing based on what I saw in the Double Secret Discord. Everyone's just having a fucking time, and a lot of us are having a worse fucking day. You know, I've got friends who think that that their job is to fucking save the world, and some of you already know who the fuck I'm talking about. And it's like, man, we're all building a boat. We just need to stop building our own boats and start building one big fucking boat together, because this ain't working. This fucking live alone, die alone, fucking lone wolf shit. It's not helping anybody. You know, and I guess that's it. I have a lot of other things that I'd like to talk about that I just don't have time. Like to talk about some literal, not figurative, gay stuff too. Because I feel like gay erasure is a thing. Are just naturally inclined to homosexuality or being convinced that they're trans, and I'm not happy about that. You know, like you see like a butch lesbian, you know, like, oh, you're actually a boy, but they catch them at like 12 years old. That's another thing I'd like to get into, but not tonight. It's too heavy, too much to talk about, too much to analyze. I would have to have all of my data in front of me. Um, I'm not in a particular situation where I can, you know, explain all of that in the intricate detail that would be required of me in order to explain it sufficiently and substantiate my claims. So we'll just leave that, I guess. Well, yeah, we're an inherently social species. It doesn't work. Even if you could just, you know, live off the land, lone wolf style, right? Eventually, your psychological health will break down, and you're gonna start making effigies and like fucking Cast Away with Wilson. It's not good for anyone's fucking health. Yeah, I'll make sure to pop a link in the Discord tomorrow, before it happens. I'm gonna try to schedule it. I don't know if that's gonna work per se. Hmm, you can give it a try. Well, you can go back and listen to the stream. It was a really long rant about not much ado about. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, okay, my bad. Yeah, I got you. I got you. I got you. Yeah, it's gonna be a camp stream. I'm gonna be making chairs and tables and fucking benches and shit tomorrow. I found my drill. I'm happy about that. I got my wood screws. I'm hopefully gonna be headed out early in the morning if I can. If not, it'll be noon o'clock right on the dot. Well, unfortunately, ISPs have never been more protected in this country than they are right now. There were a lot of acts that tried to get passed, and they snuck through a lot of things. Basically, your ISP is not going to see any repercussions for the lack of service, unless, of course, you were paying for service that wasn't being rendered because they didn't come out and fix your shit. They would at least owe you for services not rendered. But in terms of like if it's just a shit ISP, you know, it's not much you can do about that. Yeah, I've been thinking about making a Twitch account too, just for the gaming stuff, because that's really what it was intended for. Um, But yeah, I've done a lot on. I get this new ROM hack that I'm going through. I play a lot of World Box when I'm actually here and the fucking computer stays on. I lost an entire 100,000 years worth of work, in-game years. So about a week straight, because there was a power outage and the battery in my gaming laptop is just shot. So if it's off for too long, it doesn't last very long. I always meant to replace it, never got around to it. Maybe I will. But I've gone on for long enough. It's way too fucking long. But yeah, we can support each other. That's what we're supposed to do. That was why Smokey built this little insular community of 20, 30 odd people. It was something I jumped on board with immediately. You guys all share faith. I don't have that in common with you guys, but you treat me like a brother, and that means something. Kind of a lot of the way that most modern Christians behave towards one another kind of puts me off converting, to be honest. Whether Jesus is real or not, it in terms of the risen Christ and the whole thing. It just really makes me feel like nobody actually is getting into heaven, and if I'm gonna go to hell anyway, why the fuck next to you know what I'm saying? At some point, it's just farcical nonsense, but maybe. I care a lot about people. I care a lot about people. I'll just say this in closing. I care a lot about people who have gotten a raw deal. People that I feel like were unfairly accused or unfairly treated. I care about people who everyone else has just written off, and I try to reach out to those people because those are the least likely people to be, getting a fucking friend or getting a hand or getting a fucking benefit of the doubt. I like to give the benefit of the doubt to people who seem, at least on the face, like they least deserve it, because who knows? Maybe that's all. Maybe that's all they need is just somebody to be a friend, just somebody who calls them on a regular basis and goes, "Hey, how you doing? How's your day going? Do you need anything?" Some motherfucker needs $20 every once in a while, and I've got it. I'm all about that shit. Because the people who are most deserving tend to get what they need. Like my friend's family, my friend who died semi recently that I told you all about, they got more than what they needed pretty much instantaneously. All somebody's got to do is open up a GoFundMe these days. I'm not saying that it was a bad thing that they got all that all at once. It was obviously a good thing, but I'm saying especially look out for the people that nobody likes, because nobody is going to look out for them, and they're never going to get any better if we just turn a blind eye to it. It's not going to make anything better. Got to look out for people, man. Yeah, that's fine. I don't need I don't have it enabled on this thing anyway. But yeah, that's all I got to say about that. People are going to have their fucking opinions about this stream, and frankly, they can fucking all shove it up their collective asses. You're either part of the problem or you're part of the solution. Let's make more people part of the fucking solution. Let's reach out to folks and tell them that they need to be looking out for their brother, and their brother is everyone. Or that we need to be looking out for the people who get most ignored, sometimes by virtue of nothing other than their existence. And if you live with somebody, please, if you know that they're posting art and shit on forums and on making shit on YouTube, check out their fucking videos and stuff and start looking around. Pay the fuck attention. Keep your head up. Keep your shoulders out and your chest forward. Do everything you do with purpose. Don't run through your life like a turd floating through the river. Don't, nobody wants to be a loser. Don't act like one. And I love all of you, my tasty little lemon drops. And I'll see you all again tomorrow when we do something else. Y'all have a good day or good night or whenever you're watching this. Have a good now and a good always. And I'll see you all tomorrow afternoon. Take care now. Bye bye then.